Football Update. It's with your host, Sean Spencer and Alex Loosemore.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is your boy, Sean Spencer, one half of that dynamic duo that is Let's Talk Football. And it is Tuesday, ladies and gentlemen. So you know what that means. That means college football update. And you see on with this guy right here. Ohio State's been trying to mess with his audio, his Wi-Fi, but he will prevail. Okay? Maize and Blue, my guy, Alex Loosemore. What up, Alex?
Not too much, man. As always, excited to talk some college ball. Hopefully I can stay on the show and not have to go into the comments. Hope it doesn't sound like I'm underwater like you did on Saturday or Sunday, but yeah, there's still so much college ball to talk about.
Oh yes. What's going on, Alec, and what is going on, Colin? Appreciate you guys joining us, and Ben Cornett also here in the comments. What is going on? Hey, and you see this guy down here, my guy. It's been rough. It's been rough, and this was supposed to be the year of redemption. Unfortunately, when you leave things up to the pollsters and the bolsters and people with pencils that think they can delve out mercy.
Don't know what the hell they're talking about. But.
Yeah. They left my guy out. You see him, my guy, EK Holiday. What up, Eric? How you doing, my guy?
I'm all right. Forgive me if I don't have my normal pep in my step, but I'm sure we'll find some fire to get burning. Through conversation, but always good to talk ball with you guys. So yeah, let's get after it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And we see it says hard to beat them all, brother. Well, yeah, unless you're damn Georgia Bulldogs, but we're not talking about that right now.
But as we clearly don't have to win, so let's just put it there. But
and let's go right ahead and get on into it. We have to talk about reactions. We talked a little bit about it on Sunday, talking about what happened, how people felt. People gave their initial opinions. Anthony was on there. Alec was on there. Myself. Alex, like you said, tried to, but then jumped in the comments. Bunch of you guys were in the comments. Right. Just going back and forth. But look, there's one person who has not yet been able to speak his piece, my guy. Before we talk about who didn't get in, you see the matchups we have right here. Number one overall is Indiana. Ohio State gets number 2 overall. Georgia gets the 3, and Texas Tech gets the 4. All have bye weeks. Then the 5 versus 12 is Oregon versus JMU. The 8 versus 9 is Oklahoma versus Alabama, the rematch. The 6-11 is Ole Miss versus Tulane, and the 7. And the 7 versus 10 is a game that the team's a little bit too well. Texas A&M, Miami. EK, man, you look at this. I know the answer, but do you think the pollsters got it right, or how you feeling about this bracket?
I mean, generally speaking, I think other than one team in the playoffs, I don't have an issue with anything other than one team. Everybody wants me to say Miami. It's not Miami. 11 and 12, like this is what we all agreed to. So I think it's kind of silly, but it's what we all agreed to. The Alabama thing is, and hopefully we can dive a little deeper into it, but just bullshit. I don't know how else to put it. And this is from you. If people are listening, yes, I'm a Notre Dame fan, but I can say this is bullshit from a Texas, Vanderbilt, Notre Dame.
I'm a Michigan fan arguing for Notre Dame. That's how ridiculous it is.
Yeah, it's so. I think I've said even since Sunday to you guys, I am not upset. Of course, I'm upset that we're not in, but that's not what I'm truly angry about, because I think that, once we went 0-2, I knew that this was a very high possibility. But I think college football fans in general, if you really like college football, you should be very concerned about what transpired over the last week as a whole.
Mhm.
And I'll let you guys jump in, and I'm sure we can jump into further details of it. But yeah, Alabama being in is very, very interesting.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We see Colin over here and shit. Yeah, 29-1. No, that's right. Y'all stay home. Bama's better. Damn right. I'm gonna bring in that old sheet. Alex, go ahead and respond to that and the whole Bama stuff.
I mean, if I was calling Anthony, those Georgia guys, I wouldn't want Notre Dame in the playoff because we remember what just happened 11 months ago.
Yeah, it's true. That's true.
But Notre Dame is one of the 5 best teams in the country. I will argue that with a wall. I don't care. Notre Dame should have been in. 3 other conference matchups got dropped in a loss in a conference championship game, whether it was a close loss or a blowout. The fact that Alabama rushed for -3 yards, did not score until the fourth quarter.
We outrushed them.
3 losses on the season. Yeah, Notre Dame outrushed them sitting on their couch last week.
And that's been a problem all year, Alex. That wasn't they cannot run the ball all year.
Yeah. And 3 losses. I know one of them was playing an extra game, but 2 of those 3 losses are blowout losses. One is to a 5-7 Florida State team by 3 scores. You take that resume and you take the Alabama name off of it, there's no debate that this is not a playoff team.
No chance.
No chance in hell that it's a playoff team. But because they've got the name Alabama on their logo, and they've got the SEC logo on their jersey and on their field, it's let's give them a free pass right in. Like EK said, we could argue Notre Dame here, we could argue Texas. Vanderbilt's a little iffy because Alabama beat Vanderbilt.
Mm-hmm.
Regardless, though, that's the point is that they have an argument. Ben Cornett, I'm not saying Notre Dame got screwed. I'm saying that multiple teams got screwed.
There's 5 teams that got screwed.
I'm not saying that we should, when head-to-head came. I'll go into the head-to-head thing because there is bullshit there. But when head-to-head came in, I'm fine with the result. How that played out, that's kind of bullshit as well. But
yes.
I mean, do you want me to just dive in, Sean? I mean,
I was already going to ask that question. Yes, dive in. Did they get a raw deal? I mean, talk to me about it.
I'm not talking about did Notre Dame get a raw deal. I'm just talking about the system is flawed. I've said it many times. We needed to go 11-1. I agree with Ben, but that's not the problem. The problem is UVA dropped, BYU dropped, Alabama did not drop. No. Let's go a week before that. A week before that, Alabama escapes a 5-7 Auburn team,
and that's the perfect way to put it. Escapes.
Barely survives a 5-7 Auburn team. Yeah, we play Stanford. Stanford sucks. So does Auburn. Yeah. We annihilated Stanford. Bama jumps us from 8-9, and we hear the whole time, they're coming out and saying, this is the most heated debate between Notre Dame and Alabama that we've had with the committee for years.
Yeah.
We can't tell which way we're going to go. This is the most heated debate. So if BYU didn't drop and UVA didn't drop, I don't have a problem with what happened with Bama. But that's not what happened at all. And Bama didn't look like they belonged on the field. They got 7 points that were handed to them. They got walked down the field. Like Colin and Anthony will attribute to it.
They said it.
There were like 3 big penalties, a bad tackle attempt. So I need to know what we're doing is ultimately what it is. So BYU dropped when Bama didn't, and that's when the head-to-head comes into play. Again, I'm fine with the head-to-head. Miami beat us. Cool. You can make arguments against it, but I support it.
Yeah.
Here's the other thing let's throw in on top of that. Why is the committee rewatching a game from August after the conference championships are done to determine who's the better team? The results of the August, like you can say, it's just a matter of who won, but the game tape of August has zero reflection on what the teams are now. If your one metric that you want is head to head, great. I support that. But if you're evaluating us based off the tape in August as a tiebreaker, that makes no sense whatsoever. If you want the stat, awesome. Cool. They won. So it's just really bizarre stuff. And Ben, why weren't they watching Alabama versus Florida State after the conference championship games? We didn't lose to a what did
you lost to 2 playoff teams by combined 4 points.
Yeah, like, I mean, I'm not trying to hate on Florida State, but we didn't lose to a bad team by 2+ touchdowns. So it's just, what are we doing here? Bama shouldn't be in. You can say that we shouldn't be in.
Now, let me ask this, and shout out to Joseph, who's in the comments, said the issue, and I'll let you address this. The issue is that Notre Dame does not want to join the conference due to having to split their TV deal that they have. Obviously, Bama is in the SEC. We all know the bias of the SEC and the brand of Bama. Is this conference deal, and I've been arguing with a lot of people about this, is this fact that they're not technically in a conference and they pick the schedule and all that, is that the X factor? Is that the real reason that they maybe got left out there?
Well, when ESPN is in bed with the SEC, yeah, it plays a role.
Yeah.
When the head of the committee is a SEC AD, it is in their benefit for more SEC teams to get in.
Yep.
I mean,
well, and even at the same time, just to dive into that, your 2 biggest sports media markets are ESPN and Fox right now. And they're in bed with the SEC and the Big Ten. And I don't think it's a coincidence that those are the 2 best conferences right now and are viewed as the 2 best conferences. Like, so, there's definitely a role that's played in that.
So back to, I see Ben, and he's, throwing out stuff, which I appreciate. I mean, they beat Georgia. That's amazing. That's fantastic. They lost to Florida State.
Well,
and it wasn't close against Florida State. And that doesn't matter, but us going to Miami and going to the wire with a freshman quarterback, that's bad.
Like, and I mean, you won a close game against Georgia, but then you saw them again and you got your ass beat. So I feel like that kind of balances out. And the most recent one was you got your ass beat.
And the Auburn game.
And the Oklahoma game before that. Like, Alabama has not played a good football game in a month.
No.
That's the confusing part. Like, again, if BYU didn't drop, I'm shut up right now.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that the conference stuff, Sean, I mean, I didn't answer your question, but I don't think it ultimately matters. I mean, it hurts us that we don't have a 13th data point, but let me throw this out to you too. Of the top 14 teams, at least prior to the final rankings, which is the one team that didn't play an FCS school?
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to argue 13th data point versus 12th data point. Okay, cool. So we didn't schedule Charleston Southern, but that still counts just the same in that W column. So, I mean, what are we doing? I mean, I know that we need to go 11-1. and that's the truth. But it's just really, really bizarre. And let's just be honest, like, most people are okay with this because most people don't like Notre Dame.
Yeah.
and
Which
that's perfectly
I
fine.
hate that. Yeah, I don't get
No,
that.
it's perfectly fine. But
I
I
mean,
think
there's hate
Texas
for all
has
the
the
big brands.
3
Like,
best
Mhm.
wins of any team in the country. So if that's the metric we're using, let's use that. But we can't call pass interference on this team and not call the game the same way for everybody. So they're picking and choosing, like, team by team, a completely different metric to measure them by. So for this team, it's eye test. For this team, oh, they have great wins. For this team, it's, oh, they play the toughest conference. So why don't they call it the same way for everybody? And that's where I'm at a loss. Is this committee doesn't appear to have had a true metric system of which to go by.
Yeah. And so Joseph's talking about, I'm an FSU fan. I take the win over Bama, yet, we know that FSU should have lost. And you were talking about if they're going back and looking at games in August or September, if you compare that, I mean, it's not different. What we've seen recently from Alabama is what we saw in that first game. They looked lethargic. They looked like they weren't playing. And that Florida State ran away with that. So if we want to go back and look at that,
Let
but
me
to
throw
this,
in real quick to what Ben is
yeah,
saying here.
yeah.
I just want to reiterate, I'm not saying Notre Dame got screwed. I'm saying you should have a problem with what happened with Bama. And everybody, like, keeps going back to the Notre Dame. Take Notre Dame out of it.
yeah,
How
even
did
throw
Bama not
Texas or
drop
like,
and BYU dropped for the same exact situation?
and they literally said on the selection show that we dropped BYU because they lost in that manner. And then that allowed Miami to come head to head with Notre Dame, which then jumped Miami. They
So for the
said nothing
exact
about
same
punishing
reasoning,
Alabama for that exact same metric. The issue is there's about 5 or 6 teams in the country that the committee essentially grades with one set of metrics, and the rest get viewed with another set of metrics. Your Alabamas, your Georgias, your Ohio State, like the elite programs get one set of metrics, and then everyone else deals with another set.
and let's not even dive into how they count top 25 wins of teams that didn't finish in the top 25.
Yep.
Oh, they beat Florida when they were a number 10 team in the first week for the SEC. Like, that's not a top 25 win when you get to the end of the season and those teams aren't good.
Ben, I
So
wholeheartedly agree with you that BYU should have dropped, but Alabama should have as well. That's the issue.
that's the whole point, is that it's a different standard. And like, BYU was competitive until halftime.
And this isn't, I haven't just started saying this week. I've been saying for years now that you shouldn't get penalized if you lose a close game in your conference championship game. If you go toe to toe and it's last second field goal, overtime, something like that, fine. Stay where you're at. If you get manhandled, if you get dog walked in your conference championship game, it's when it's clear that there's a different level there.
Mm-hmm.
Bye-bye, drop down.
So, Nathan, just let's go off this. I don't have the record in front of me, but since we've had our partnership with the ACC, our record is stupid, like, against the ACC.
Yeah.
So, sure, if people want us to get in super easy, we can go to the ACC and lose the conference championship game every year and get in.
Now, okay, go ahead. Finish what you're saying.
No, you're good. So
I was gonna, because his next question was towards the decision after the fact, not to play.
but that's a decision that's, everybody's talking about Notre Dame like Notre Dame's the only team doing it. There's like 6 or 7 schools that are doing it.
Well,
and
I
what
made
does Notre Dame really benefit from Like most of these schools, you get a boatload of cash and 3 weeks extra practice for your young guys.
Mm-hmm.
Apologies, Nathan, if I misread it.
I think the NCAA and the way these bowl games are set up, half your team for some of these teams doesn't show up to the bowl game anyways.
Right.
So, like, at what point do we say, well, the players can opt out? Like, we do this all the time where the players can leave whenever they want. So the coaches, like, we have that same argument for players and coaches. The players can choose not to play in the bowl game. So why can't the team?
No,
essentially, when, like, Kansas State, the players voted not to play.
Right.
Like,
I think the total's at 9 right now. Joseph was saying there's 9 total, and I mentioned it even. I knew it was with basketball. North Carolina, after was it 2021 or 22, we went to the national championship and lost to Kansas. That next year, we didn't make it to the tournament, and instead of going to the NIT, we said we're not playing. We're getting ready for the following year. So I mean, I think it's pretty similar. But I mean, go ahead and say what you were saying, Eric.
So as I saw Nathan's latest comment, and we aren't saying anything should happen one way or another.
Just make it unanimous across the board.
Championship game. We're saying use it the same or do it the same. You can't have multiple teams get boat raced and you treat one different than the other. So I'm not saying that TCU. I'm not even saying that Bama, if they were judging by the same standards, shouldn't be in, but they're using different standards.
One, especially,
and that's a problem.
The number 9, which should have been number 10, got boat raced by the number 3, and the number 11 got boat raced by the number 4. So it's like it's the same shit. Like,
As far as like sitting out, when I saw it, it hurt my heart. When I think about it logically, in this era, it just makes sense, man. Like, we have so much money to allot to players. Are we going to watch our star quarterback, CJ Carr? Are we going to watch him against a ragtag O-line or behind a ragtag O-line tear his ACL when we've got $3 million invested in him for next season? I wish we were playing. I would love to see our backups play, but in the same right, if the real reason is what they say the reason is, and that's a matter of the team didn't want to play without each other after they had such an amazing run, then heck yeah, go for it. And to Alex's point, I mean, money's not an issue for Notre Dame, so that's not going to hurt. And then we can go down a whole other rabbit hole of ESPN. If we are going strictly to the Notre Dame route, which I could jump into, but I mean, ESPN pulled us along for the last 5 weeks where we were in the top 10 the entire time. And then, I don't know, the rug got pulled out from under us. And if every bowl game is going to be on ESPN, why are we going to help them in any fashion? So you're going to pull the rug out from under us, and then you want us to get you a beautiful rating game against a crappy team on a random day? Why should we help you? And my personal opinion, it was the AD's decision to not have the Indy. Well, that's not what he or any of the players have come out and said. So that may be your opinion, but that's not the consensus. He was butthurt and is playing the blame game on the ACC and the committee. So the ACC has been actively campaigning against their largest business partner. The ACC would not exist without Notre Dame. After COVID, the ACC was not going to play football. The ACC was already struggling. Who organized playing football with the ACC? Who said, we will come play ball with you? And then the ACC said, all right, let's get on board. 2 years ago, they may not be the teams that are sexy. Cal and Stanford fit the ACC profile as far as academics and athletics as a whole. Who brokered the deal for Stanford and Cal to come join the ACC? It wasn't the ACC commissioner. It was Jack Swarbrick. So why should we sit there and listen to them actively campaign against us when 23% of ACC games sell out amongst ACC teams versus ACC teams?
Mm.
How many ACC team or games sell out when Notre Dame goes to an ACC venue? 90% plus. So, yeah, they should be pissed at the ACC. They spent 48 hours replaying the Miami Notre Dame game prior to the conference championship games on the ACC network. They actively have sent tweet after tweet after tweet after tweet, not pumping Miami up, but cutting Notre Dame down. That's not a business partnership. So I appreciate what you're saying, Ben, but I'll be honest with you, and it's very rare for me to do this. I think you're off base on all of it.
I agree with Nathan here. You can come to the Big Ten. I'd love to see yearly matchups of like Notre Dame, Ohio State, Notre Dame, Michigan, Notre Dame, Oregon, Notre Dame, Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take all of it.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely location wise it would work as well. Ben said that COVID year Notre Dame still had to deal with NBC if they didn't play regardless. If it was NBC games or other games, they would lose money that year.
How does that have anything to do with the fact that the ACC as a whole played games when they weren't going to?
Yeah,
the
'cause they were gonna
conference
opt out.
as a whole was not going to play football until Notre Dame approached them and said, "We will join you for a year because we want to play." I mean, I'll be honest, Ben. Like, and I know I'm a bit emotional at the moment. I will own up to that. But everything I'm reading from you seems more just like I don't want to say anything good about Notre Dame. And that's fine. People don't. But let's be real about the facts.
They are still independent, Nate.
Yeah. In basketball, everything else, they're ACC, but
for
football,
the
they
COVID
joined
year,
for the COVID year, but then
correct.
They're still independent.
So, but it just gets back to the point of this isn't about Notre Dame. When we started this conversation, it wasn't about Notre Dame, even though that's on my chest. This is about how did Alabama not get treated by the same standards that everybody else has?
Yeah.
Because I would rather see Texas in that spot. Texas has beat 3 top 10 teams. Or at one point, they had beat 3 top 10 teams.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The 3 best wins in the country. That's better than losing to Florida State by 2 touchdowns.
And they only lost to the number 1 team for most of the year, Ohio State, by a touchdown. You know what I mean?
Ohio State Stadium.
Exactly.
And as we all know, August games matter more than any other games.
So look, at the end of the day, like there's always gonna be gripe. I've heard people say this, when it was 4, they're gonna say, oh well, number 5 and 6 are gonna be pissed, and then now there's 12, and people are gonna say, oh, 13 and 14, and who knows if it's gonna keep growing. Alex, I think you made a good point before. I think it was on Sunday where it's like we need to take the human aspect out of this. Put it on computers, put a certain metric, and let's just go by that and live with those results. But I think to Eric's point, as long as you have the head of the SEC, on the committee and all that, it's going to be advantageous for them to make sure they get as many people, especially their golden calf in Alabama, who has brought them so much attention over the years.
And I kind of want to set this up for Alex because again, I know I'm a big Notre Dame crybaby, but I want to set this up to tee this off for Alex because we've talked about this multiple times well before we got to this point. And please make it sound much more eloquent than I will. But what I want to hear you talk about is how there's this manifestation with the SEC that how great they are, and then they win, and then they don't drop, and then they win, and then they move up, and there's just it's like the reverse of what happens with every other conference. Like teams always being overinflated from where they should be. Like even Texas, their crawl out from how far they dropped, how quickly they were right back up in it. So there's all these like wins that like you think are good, but in the same right, it's like, well, yeah, but you're all like 2 or 3 losses in, and half the teams you play are sub 500. So
Right.
what? Yeah, that's kind of confusing to me because it's like you're getting credit and more credit based on your cachet as opposed to what's actually happening.
Yeah, I mean, there's a big example is Tennessee this year, where they were constantly, and they'd lose, they'd fall just outside the top 25, and they'd win a nothing game. And
Pause it. Ben, how many times have I said this isn't about Notre Dame? I'm not arguing that Notre Dame should be in. I'm arguing the Alabama point. If you put BYU in instead of us, fine. If you put Texas in, fine. You keep going back to Notre Dame. This isn't Notre Dame, Alabama. This is Alabama, everyone. I'll shut up. But am I the only one seeing that, like, we're trying to scope this and it keeps coming back to this? Like, that's not what the conversation is. Sorry, Alex. I'm just every time I've made the point. Every time I've made the point, I've made a point that this isn't about the fact that I think we should be in. This has nothing to do with whether we're in or not.
And I disagree. Like, if we're saying the teams who shouldn't be in, it's James Madison and Tulane. If it's because they're if it's because we're saying they're ranked the late teens, early 20s, if that's your reasoning, fine. If it's the fact that it's the Sun Belt champion and the American champion, I think that's lazy, because the agreement going in was it was the 5 highest ranked conference champions. Everyone just assumed it would be the Power 4 and 1 group of 5, or Power 4 and group of 6, essentially, with the Pac-12 sliding down.
We didn't expect the ACC to do what they did.
Yeah, we didn't expect a 5-loss ACC champion. So like are we saying Duke should be in then? Like, is Duke supposed to be in over one of these teams? Like,
hell no.
I think, like, it's all this stuff seems to be fine until it's not. Like, we were fine with the 5 conference champions last year because it was the 4 big conferences and then Boise State, who looked awesome throughout the year. But as soon as we get the ACC falling out, or one year it might be the Big 12, or like, there's going to be years where it's 2 group of 6 because they have good teams in those conferences, and these conference champions from these other leagues might not be as good year to year. So I disagree with the James Madison and Tulane. I think conference championships should mean something, and I think conference championships should put you in the discussion to play for a national championship. In my opinion, what I would do is there's 8 conferences, a 16-team playoff, or if you wanted to do 18 with 2 wild cards, but there should be something like there should be something where every conference champion gets a chance to play. That's how I feel. Conference championships should earn you a right to play for a national championship. I think there should still be love for the independents. Right now it's only 2 teams, but I know Michigan, USC have floated the idea when the Big Ten deals up again in 2036 or whatever it is. And there's other teams by then that will float that idea as well. There should still be a chance. Just because you're not in a conference, you should still have a right, if you're an elite team, to play for a national championship. So I don't know what the method is. Maybe it's you do 18 teams and it's your conference championship weekend, and say your highest non-conference champion opponent plays Notre Dame for your chance to get in. Something like that. I don't like. Sorry, this is a long thing to just say conference championships should matter. Because now we're getting to the argument of, well, why should we even play conference championships for a lot of these conferences?
Yeah, I mean, the whole debate before the conference championships was that, that there shouldn't be any punishment. Conference championship games won't matter if you let this team in versus this team. And then we just learned that conference championships is just a seeding. Like the SEC championship lost all meaning. All meaning.
As
Other
soon
than
as
getting a
Alabama
higher
stayed
seed.
in.
Yeah.
And they didn't give them a higher seed, though. Georgia stayed at 3.
No, but I'm saying that, outside of the fact that if you win when you are the lower team.
Oh, yeah.
Then, I mean, you can. Alabama might as well have walked onto the field and tapped the field and said, we're going to rest our players.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And any argument against how much Alabama's favored, I know Colin can attest to this. Look at that. After they won that game against Georgia, look how far they jumped up and they brought Georgia down. That bias is still there. They still the committee, the pollsters, whoever, they still look at Bama as if Saban is still on the sidelines and they're still winning natty after natty. They're always going to get that little bit. And I think, to your point, it isn't that Notre Dame, I'm saying Notre Dame should be the X, Y, and Z. It's that Bama, we all know one of the biggest things when FSU lost Jordan Travis, the biggest issue is that they're not going to look the same. That ACC championship, they didn't look the same. That defense was elite, electric. They had players all around, but they didn't look the same. It was the eye test. If we're going to sit here and see what Bama's been doing, and this is why I don't like when people say, to your point, Alex, that, JMU and Tulane, these little small schools, they're going to get crushed. No, they're not. They played their ass off.
Any given Saturday, Sunday, saying for a reason.
Right. I mean, we talk
Michigan
about how
App State in 07.
Hey, JMU, they just scored on us again. I mean, they put up 70 on us. And their last game, they put up, 59 on a squad. And I know it's like, okay, that squad is not as great. But, I mean, if they can play, they deserve the opportunity to get in.
Yeah.
And I'm saying, when we're watching ball, we're watching football, let it be put out there. And even if some of these teams get blown out, because let's not act like these small teams are the only ones getting blown out. Some of these bigger name teams are getting toasted, getting dusted in these. Let's remember what happened to almighty, to your point, Alex, Tennessee last year. When they came into Ohio State, they got destroyed. So, yeah. I mean,
let's see. Make every program independent, because only a few programs could survive as an independent. That's why that'll never happen. There's less than 5 programs that could survive as an independent. Survive, sure, maybe more. Thrive as an independent, less than 5. There aren't as many of these national brands as there are brands that are very regional. So that's the real reason why. Yeah, the NBC deal, blah, blah, blah. There's a reason NBC is willing to buck out all that money for the ever so hated Fighting Irish.
Alec makes a great point. This is the first time we've had a 3-loss team in the playoff. And it's the first time we've had a team with 2 blowout losses in the playoff. Both those criteria should be enough for you to be out. If you scratch the name away and even throw the 5-7 FSU out of it, if you have 2 blowout losses and you're a 3-loss team, 99% of the time, that's enough for you to be out.
Mm-hmm.
And, Alex, I think we should also all 3 of us, clarify. I think all of us are proponents of you shouldn't get punished if you are competitive in a conference championship game.
Yeah.
But if you go in and you get whacked, are we supposed to act like we didn't see that happen? Like,
That's why, as much as I hate Ohio State, I don't have an issue with them being 2 instead of dropping to 3 or 4, losing that conference championship game, because they lost by a field goal and they had a chance to win it late. They missed the field goal. They missed a gimme field goal again. That's how they've lost their last 2 games. But like, them being competitive against what's now the number 1 team in the nation and giving Indiana their best game, like, you should only slide that 1 spot to number 2 so Indiana can go to number 1.
yeah, I mean, had Bama played Georgia close,
Then there's no argument.
Well, no,
No
I'm saying
question.
I wouldn't have even been necessarily against them maybe jumping the team ahead of them.
Yeah.
But
You could argue them hosting Oklahoma instead of Oklahoma hosting them.
exactly. But when you lose the way you did, we can't pretend it didn't happen.
And it's your second loss like that. That's a huge factor.
Yeah.
So again, yeah, like I'm all for the fact. I saw Jared's comment. Jared, we lost. We lost those 2 games. Like, I got nothing to cry about on the Notre Dame end. I said that after we went 0-2. Like, do I think
that's been his narrative all along.
Do I think it's a little crappy with how everything played out? Do I think Notre Dame is better than a lot of the teams that are in the playoffs? I do. But we caught our L's, just like you said. Our L's are a little different than some other L's, but we also don't necessarily have the same wins that some other people have. And I get that. But again, I want to reiterate, this is not about us making it. Like, I knew for the past 2 weeks there was a very good chance we wouldn't make it because dominoes weren't falling a certain way. I think every week Alex can attest to the fact that I was telling him, like, the doomsday scenario is playing out. And Alex is like, nah, man, you're good, dude. You're worrying too much. And I'm like,
I kept saying you were being ridiculous, and I was wrong.
and yeah, and I was like, everything we need to happen is not happening. And then it got to conference championship week, and it was like, all right, well, if BYU loses, we expect them to drop. And then Alabama getting boat raced wasn't a consideration in my mind. So when they did, it was like, okay, so you shouldn't be punished for not showing up on the field at all. If you don't plan on showing up on the field, just don't go play the game.
Yeah.
Like, let someone else take the conference
A&M or Ole
championship
Miss
invite.
would have put up a better fight than Alabama did.
Yeah, so if Texas got in, if Vandy got in, yeah, I'm going to hurt either way. But again, I just want to, like, for the 100th time, just reiterate, this isn't about Notre Dame. Even if I am Mr. Notre Dame, like, this is about what happened the week before and what happened the conference championship week. If you think that jumping up a position for surviving against a sub 500 team moves you up a playoff ranking or a playoff spot, then that's awesome. But I don't think anybody really believes that. And I think if you put your team in that same situation, you would probably understand how ridiculous it is that Alabama moved up that week. And we talked about it before.
Even take your team to be in the position, though. You should just see that and be like, that's ridiculous.
Right.
And if it isn't transparent that they did that in order to protect Bama, and that was the reason they did it, then I don't know what else we can tell you or show you. And this is the guy above me likes Notre Dame as much as I like Michigan.
Yeah.
That's it's
Notre Dame is one of my 5 least favorite teams, and it feels like my team just got kicked in the nuts. The fact that they're out.
There's one team that there's no confusion.
That's cool, Ben. Like, if Alabama wins, great. But you go talk to Vegas. Who had according to the experts that make all the money, who were the top 3 teams at odds of winning a championship? On a neutral site, how many teams were favored above Notre Dame if we're going to go to that route?
It was just
Two.
two, wasn't it? Yeah.
Indiana and Ohio State by Vegas were favored. The only two favored over Notre Dame at a neutral site. So, sure, we didn't get in. I can't say anything to any of the teams that are above
See,
us. But
Alec puts it perfectly. They beat Wisconsin and dropped back 3 spots.
Yep.
Like,
yeah, you're supposed to jump forward a spot, Alex. Alec, I don't know if you know that, but you were supposed. They got the formula wrong for you. But
see,
you were supposed
it
to go
didn't
up
take a
spot.
last-second fumble recovery for Oregon to beat Wisconsin. Like,
Yeah. Oh, because Alabama got up 17-0 on Auburn. That's what was so impressive.
Let them back in.
Not the fact that they let them. Exactly, Sean. Like, we can cherry pick to someone's earlier point all day, but yeah, Ben. But your point is still the same. I mean, if you live in Vegas or don't live in Vegas, the point is it doesn't matter at this point. But if you want to say it'll be said it was right all along, there's lots of experts who do not agree with that.
it's just none of them work for ESPN.
Yeah, it's all good. We didn't make it, but I would have no problem if we put the ball down and went and played Alabama. Like,
Jared, who is smacking Indiana? Please tell me that.
Nobody's been able to do it yet. It's going to be, and a lot of people want. I know Alec believes it. Alec thinks Indiana's getting destroyed. We'll see.
I don't think Indiana's unbeatable, but who's going to go in and dominate them?
Yeah. And look,
They've
you
shown
can't
that it's
deny
going
what
to take
Signetti's
a
done.
perfect game to beat them.
yeah,
Right.
no, I mean, I think it. I mean, they can get smacked. I just don't think that we should expect it like we did last year. Anybody can get smacked. I agree with that. You get caught on the wrong day.
Yeah,
and
sorry.
you can
I
be
should have
done
worded it
for.
as we shouldn't expect them.
Yeah. And that's me agreeing with you, but also like,
Yeah.
you just show. There was. I'm trying to remember the Indiana game this year. That it was like, ooh, they're human.
Penn
There
State.
was a
It
couple
took
of
them to the last.
Yeah.
That Penn State
Penn
game
State
took
was
the
the last
last play. Yeah.
Iowa, it took everything Indiana had to get by Iowa with that defense. I mean, Oregon, they didn't beat Oregon that bad, and Oregon was really beat up. And if they see each other again, Oregon will be a lot healthier this time around.
Yeah.
And I think Ohio State could absolutely beat them. Like, they were this close to getting into overtime. So,
Right.
I think Georgia could beat them. Like, I'd say there's probably 5 or 6 teams I would put in that legitimately have a shot to win it all. But I don't like, nobody's unbeatable in this playoff.
Yeah.
Right.
I agree.
Right.
Let me sum up. Ben, I love you. I like you a lot. I'm not trying to go hard at you, but clearly I'm in an unstable state of mind. And I think fundamentally we're just going to disagree on a lot, especially since, I keep trying to get away from the Notre Dame aspect, and that keeps getting brought back into it. Because, again, Alex can attest to the fact that I've said for weeks I haven't thought we were going to get in. So this
said
isn't
all year
like
long. All year long.
No, but like actually looking at the scenarios. Over the last
It's been
few
about
weeks.
4 weeks of him being like, we're out. Like, we're not going to be in.
So this isn't a shock to me at all. The shock is what happened with Alabama.
Right.
That's where the shock is.
And
It's crazy.
Jared, there's multiple teams with good quarterbacks in the playoffs here. Fernando Mendoza.
Yep.
Yeah. Saying Mendoza. Dante Moore. Gunnar Stockton is
DoorDash.
a damn good quarterback right now.
Yeah.
Like,
I give Carson his love. Carson Beck.
Yeah.
The way if Marcel Reed plays like he's been playing all year, throw him in that mix.
Well, and I mean,
Alabama has a fantastic quarterback when they give him a moment.
Ty Simpson, if Mateer gets back to the way he started the season.
Oh yeah.
Like there's a lot of Alonzo Barnett for JMU is a very good quarterback.
Very underrated. Yep.
Like there's so many good quarterbacks in this playoff. We don't have the one that's putting the numbers up like Burrow did a few years ago, or we don't have that necessarily electrifying guy like Johnny Manziel was. Like there's good quarterbacks making great decisions here. Sayin rarely makes a bad decision. Mendoza rarely makes a bad decision. Dante Moore rarely makes a bad decision. Stockton rarely makes a bad decision. Like there's good, smart, talented quarterbacks all over this playoff bracket.
Yeah. You know what there's not though? The best player in college football.
Great segue. And let me first and foremost commend you, because I want people to realize we did a show Sunday, and my man respectfully declined to join that show. And I know had he been on that show, it might have turned ugly. Okay, so the fact that he is being cordial with some of the comments that are being put out there, and some of these in which I did not want to put up there because I knew kind of where they were going, but you have handled them well, my friend. And all things considering, if any of us was in that situation, I've turned ugly to a couple people when my team has gone on. Watched it. We'll get into that a little bit later. But you made a perfect segue, and we're gonna go ahead and get on to one more segment that we have on here. You talked about your guy, and at least some kind of joy can come out of this season, and it's because your guy is one of the Heisman finalists. Let's get into Heisman Watch.
Team success comes individual success. So without y'all,
we wouldn't be anything. I feel that same way. Look, it's a college football update. We're talking about it. We have 4. We're down to 4 Heisman finalists. 4 guys are going to New York. Ohio State's quarterback Julian Sayin, Indiana's quarterback Fernando Mendoza, Notre Dame's running back Jeremiah Love, and my guy, Vanderbilt's quarterback Diego Pavia. Alex, I've been talking about my guy Diego for years, since he was at New Mexico, and I said if he could just get to a good team, I think he can really shock the world.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't expect him to go to Vandy because that wasn't a good team anywhere before he got in there. But what we talked about for so many years, that if you have a guy that has that kind of passion, that kind of desire, and he can get his team to jump on board with him, he had Vandy at 10-2. You know what I mean? I mean, we're all looking at Mendoza and Cignetti and what they've done in Indiana and how they've totally turned them around. But to do what he did at Vandy these last 2 years and to get them even in consideration to get into the playoff, in my opinion, that's where I'm going to go. I don't think he's going to get it, but I think what we've seen from Diego Pavia this season and how he's able to elevate that team, obviously talking about Bama, that loss to Bama played a huge role in them not making it in, but I just think what he has done cannot get overlooked. And the other 3 teams, we know how good they are. We know how impactful the players are. But when you look at that Vanderbilt team, unless you were really diving deep into this, you'd be hard pressed to say any other name outside of the coach or my guy Diego Pavia. So that's where I stand. Alex, I'm gonna come to you next. Who do you think is gonna get it? But who also do you want to get it?
I mean, I think that Big Ten championship game was who was going to get the Heisman, whether right or wrong. So I believe it's Mendoza. I strongly believe that. Would he be my pick? No. My pick, I won't spend too much time on it. Plays for the guy below me cheers for. Or the team that the guy below me cheers for. I would give it to Jeremiah Love. He's been electric. He's been phenomenal. And to me, when it goes to a quarterback, it should be one that's separated themselves. And I don't think any quarterback really did that this year. Again, I think Mendoza's phenomenal. I think Sayin's phenomenal. Pavia's phenomenal. But what Jeremiah Love did this year was special. I think it's Jeremiah Love that should get it.
I'm with you. And 8K, I mean, listen, at the end of the day, I, as a former running back, I'm with you. Who I wanted, who I would love it to go to is 100% Jeremiah Love.
Also going to keep the year ending in 5 running back.
Exactly. Yep. It's written in the stars, my guy. And I know you don't want a consolation prize. You'd rather be playing for that natty. But how sweet would it be to get a Notre Dame running back and Jeremiah Love? I mean, you had the picture in your background most of the year of him hurdling the Penn State defensive player.
Such an insane play.
Amazing. So hey, make your case for your guy, man.
I mean, y'all have heard me talk enough already. I won't stop, but it's as simple as just roll the tape.
Mm-hmm.
Go search Jeremiah Love this season highlights, and you'll sit there for 25 minutes.
And you still have so much more you could look at.
Yeah, just roll the tape. The guy scores from anywhere on the field at any time. And then you won't see Ashton Genty numbers, but also realize that he's sharing the backfield with what some project to be another first-round running back in the same draft.
Exactly.
So we aren't riding him the way that a Genty might have gotten ridden. So he's doing all this in the grand scheme of things, very few touches. So I don't know. Take that into consideration. If you like football, go watch the tape. Julian Sand, he's had a great year. I don't know that his tape is going to do anything special for you. Mendoza at times, it'll definitely get you excited. And then Pavia, I got nothing respect for what he's done. So I wouldn't, put that down at all if he made it. But if you want to pick the best player in college football, at least on the offensive side of the ball, then roll the tape.
Like that.
I'd put it this way: if you want the most exciting player, the best tape, it's Jeremiah Love. If you want the best story, which a lot of the times the Heisman ends up going to, it's Diego Pavia. If you want the leaders of the best teams in the country, it's Sand or Mendoza.
Yep.
Yeah, the Heisman is not supposed to just be the MVP award.
No, that's what the Maxwell and those are for.
Correct.
Right.
It's supposed to be the most outstanding. So, yeah, there's the Maxwell. It's not what it was once, what I once thought it would be. I think in our chat, when I think of Heisman, I think of Reggie Bush first. I think of Charles Woodson.
Barry.
Barry, yeah.
Yeah, I think of guys that just made me boggle my mind when I saw what they did.
Go to you guys, Rocket, Raghib Ishmael, and Tim Brown.
Yeah, we didn't get one for Rocket, but
Rocket did. Oh, he did. Okay.
Yeah, but he was in contention. I think the Michigan guy that I get tired of seeing on game day.
Desmond.
Yeah.
Howard got it. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So,
then he
but
came
even
to Washington.
him, electric. So, and then you think quarterbacks, you usually think of guys who were dual threats. And then occasionally you get Yeah. No, there's great. The Jacob Rodriguez, Texas Tech.
It's another one.
There's a ton of fantastic players out there, but
if you're not looking at numbers, there's still Jeremiah Smith. He didn't have the numbers this year, but he also still had 2 or 3 defensive players looking at him almost every play.
Yeah.
So, there's that as well.
That must hurt to say. I'm sorry, dude.
Oh, yeah, it sucks. Going into this season, 2 of my the 3 best players in college football, in my opinion, this year were 2 of my rival schools. It was Ohio State and Notre Dame. It was Jeremiah Smith, Jeremiah Love, and Caleb Downs.
Yeah, we've had a really good run of running backs. But I don't think I'm going to see another one like that in a Notre Dame uniform in my life.
You're going to be hard pressed to find one.
Wow.
So either way, I love what he's done. No pun intended. He's absolutely fantastic. He seems like a great kid off the field too.
Yeah, you never hear anything about him.
Yeah, so even if he doesn't win the Heisman, I'm going to be irrational and take him number 1 overall in my fantasy draft next year.
Rightfully so. Rightfully so. All right, ladies and gentlemen, tell us who you guys think should be in there, and let us know. I mean, is it Rodriguez? Is it one of these guys that's not on this list that didn't make it to New York? It's going to be very interesting to see who gets picked, and is it going to be the best, the quarterback of the best teams? Is it going to be the overall most outstanding? Is it going to be the best story? Like, whatever it is, it's going to be interesting at the end of the day. And I'm excited to kind of see this year. I can say, honestly, the exception of maybe Julian saying, but I understand. The other 3, I wouldn't matter, to y'all's points. Fernando, I wouldn't matter. Obviously, love to get it. Love ya. And Diego Pavia, I'm good with that. You know how I feel about that. So I like it. Not as much of a heated conversation as the CFP reaction, but that's why we want to get my guy on here.
Well, there's one interesting thing to take into note there, Sean. Like usually we have guys spread out throughout the country. So it's going to be really interesting to see how the Midwest votes. Because all 3 of these guys are, state to state.
Indiana, Ohio.
Yeah. So
and
normally
then,
we know like the West Coast used to go with a Pac-12 guy. And then the South would get votes to an SEC guy. And
which
the Midwest
could be interesting because Mendoza used to play at Cal, so does he maybe get the West Coast votes? And like there's different narratives like that could come into play.
Technically, I mean,
if oh my god, if he wins it, based on this show, there's just gonna be that narrative.
I think Mendoza's gonna get it.
Yeah, Mendoza's gonna get it, but I think it should be Love,
the best player on the best team.
Yeah.
Or
look, ladies,
the best team.
The per se, right? That's what I was gonna say. I was about to correct you because we don't know who the best team is. Definitely could be you guys. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to let you guys go.
It quite literally can't be us, Sean.
It can't be you based on the natty and to win that all.
Right,
but I think
the right to have that was taken away.
I think Ben and I can agree on the fact that it literally cannot be Notre Dame.
It won't be you, but I can still say that might have been the best team. Oh my goodness! I know what team that's not the best damn team. I know what team that ain't the best damn team.
The one thing EK and Ben can agree on all night.
And here's my last little comment concerning bowls, and we didn't get into that. We'll get into that later on. As we've seen, we're up to 10 teams that are deciding that they do not. They're going to sit out of the bowl games. Actually have that right here. Yeah, well, exactly. So that's my point. So first, Notre Dame, Kansas State, Auburn, Baylor, Rutgers, Temple, Kansas, UCF, Florida State, Iowa State. We only have 4 wins, but with all these teams out, obviously they're going to be calling teams that have less wins. My thing, and I'm predicting this right now, we are going to get a call, and they're going to call and they're going to say, hey, what do you think? And Jordan and Bill are going to say, yeah, we respectfully decline because we act like we're so great.
If there's a really nice beach nearby, I can see Jordan.
If Jordan's cheerleading team can cheer at the halftime of the game, then they'll sign the deal. Then they'll play. I mean, this is what we're doing right now. So, and will Bill be in the locker room? No, he'll be on the set watching them.
A quick note on the bowl game things, and this is I just heard it maybe a couple hours ago, and it was a take that I just hadn't considered. Was I saw an interview with Rick Neuheisel, and he said something interesting was that you're going to see bowl games are going to be the first game of the season. And
it's a solid way to do a preseason game.
I said that's really an interesting thought that they'll turn the bowl games into game 1 of the season.
Ooh.
You flip it on end, but it kind of makes sense. I mean, what's the NBA doing with the tournament that they have at the start of the year?
Mhm.
Like
College
I just
basketball does it too. The Maui Invitational,
Yeah.
all these little different things.
I
Why
had
not?
never heard or considered that, but I thought,
Yeah.
that's a really interesting take.
Just seemed like
Mhm.
college football is so like stuck in their ways for the majority of stuff that it was like bowl games are December and January, and that's that, and
Yep.
just no discussion about it. And then this idea got brought up, and it's like, that's not necessarily a bad idea. Like,
No.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought bowl games were dead, and then he said that, and I was like, huh,
Uh-huh.
it's completely
then-
different, but
And then they'll get a lot more people, except, outside of the three of us, they'll get a lot more people to watch the early weeks and
yeah,
watch some of those early games if it's a bowl and it's, two good teams coming in there. I like that idea. Still think you guys are one of the best teams in the country. And I'll ride with that.
I think we were until we disbanded a few days ago.
Well, and I apologize for what my conference is doing to you. I don't claim them. But listen, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to go ahead and get out of here.
that was the first thought that came to my mind.
I would
Mhm.
imagine it would just be like out of conference, like scheduling together, and then my thought would be that you kind of like say, hey, I got this big dog. Can we come to
Because I was gonna
Fiesta Bowl?
say most of those bowls, like the way they are now, are tied to specific conferences, right?
Yeah.
So you could go essentially every conference goes, and I mean they already do it anyways, rank their teams.
Well,
And then
Big
okay,
Ten,
number
ACC
one from the Big
Challenge.
Ten, number one from the SEC, go play in the Citrus Bowl, like,
Right.
Yeah.
and
an
do it
idea.
that way, and then you can kind of see how your teams stack up against teams ranked the same spot in other conferences.
I do
Mhm.
not think that independents should be eligible, though. Since they don't play a conference championship game, they shouldn't get a chance at a bowl game.
Woo!
Oh.
You're gonna be, look, you guys winning it all next year. There it is.
Oh,
Put it
Well,
out
here's
there.
the thing. Here's
You
the thing
see
we
me?
forgot to throw out there.
No, I'm already in on the rankings next year. Bro. This is religion. This isn't
It is.
fanhood. This is
Part of life.
yeah.
This
As
is the one thing we
we've
forgot
seen.
Give Marcus Freeman an extra month to prep and recruit.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
The
See
one
what
thing we
happens.
forgot to mention talking about the playoff rankings is when they agreed upon these set guidelines of the top 5 conference champions, all that. It's hilarious that it worked out. Sorry to say it's hilarious, Eric, but it's funny that it worked out this way this year, because starting in the 2026 season, there is a clause that if Notre Dame is in the top 12, they cannot be pushed out for an auto bid. So in this scenario, Notre Dame
No. But you're wrong. In this scenario, we get bumped to 13. I mean, that's what happened this year. Yeah, if we're in the top 12, yeah. But Alex,
But if you look at
they
the
can just
actual
bump you.
rankings,
They can just bump you.
Oh.
I
No,
They're just
you
gonna
know what?
go
This
against
isn't
their rules.
this isn't sarcasm. What happened
No,
this last
that-
week was bullshit.
Yeah. You're true.
The moving Alabama up after the Auburn win, combined with not dropping Alabama when BYU dropped. I mean,
see, but like, so if this scenario was next year, you guys are ranked 11th right now, but you're the 13th playoff seed essentially. You would not be bumped. It would then be Miami gets bumped back out as the number 10 seed.
and this may just be the timing of all this, but this stuff is set up week after week after week. There was premeditation in what happened with Bama.
Oh, yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
would it be better if Notre Dame was sitting at 14 instead of 12? Yeah, let's keep them at 14 because it'll be easier to move them around if we need to.
Hmm.
So until we get back or get out of some of this human, and I know I'm being a little pessimistic with it, but after this week, it's
I was gonna say,
you're not calling your quarterback DoorDash quarterback, so
Dude,
you
my
gotta take
quarterback is fucking amazing.
He's a
and it's funny because I was looking at this earlier. EK says his quarterback, literal quote, is fucking amazing. Alex says his quarterback is a DoorDash quarterback. Yep. Their numbers are essentially identical.
Yeah, hey, I've been a proponent of DoorDash quarterback for years.
DoorDash. Well, like we've all said Dante Moore's a good quarterback. I just find it funny that there's the two different narratives from the fans we have on our show. The numbers, it's like 11 yards difference, same touchdown, same interceptions. Like it's identical.
I will give Alec credit for this. When did Dante Moore give up on going to Notre Dame? When he found out CJ Carr was coming.
Oh.
Yeah.
He was a silent commit to Notre Dame.
Yeah.
And he did not want CJ Carr in the class behind him.
Yeah.
Knew it was going to happen. But we know where CJ Carr went. I love it. Hey, look, ladies and gentlemen.
Dante.
Yeah. DoorDash or not, you can deliver the food any day, my guy. All right. And you're delivering them touchdowns. Look, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to see you guys next time. We appreciate you guys joining us, hitting us in these comments, going back and forth, even arguing with us a little bit. Always a good time when we got our guys on here. So you see who I'm with, my guy, Mr. Alex Loosemore, and this guy right here, EK Holiday, looking so fresh and so clean. Yo,
no way, just like my team.
Hey, and you see who it is, this guy right here, who lives on Tar Heel Avenue. That's right. And to something that was said earlier, I know you didn't advocate for him to get in, but F Duke, I don't care if they win 10 ACC championships. They should never be allowed. There should be a clause that says they are never allowed to get into the college football.
5% wants Ohio State get in.
You're right now, yes.
Sean, there's a lot of belief that this was a matter of not wanting to leave the ACC out. So had UVA won, there's a good underlying, whether true or not true, there's a lot of belief that Miami would not have gotten in had UVA won the conference championship. The committee did not want to leave out a power conference team.
Yeah, I've heard that narrative as well,
and it makes sense. I mean, dude, you got to shut me the fuck up.
No, you're good. We're good. Hey, we're out of here, people. Appreciate y'all. We'll see y'all next time.
College Football Update. It's with your host, Sean Spencer and Alex Loosemore.